Hey friends, welcome back to the Finding Joy in Your Home podcast. I am your host, Jamie Balmay, and today we are talking about a topic, and I'm interviewing someone that I have been thinking about for several weeks. So we recorded this episode, I don't know, a month and a half ago, when it really was not Christmas time yet. And at the time of talking to her, I was like ready to go to start planning for Christmas, for putting some of these things into action in a very sustainable way that works for our family in the busy season that we are in. And now you guys finally get to listen in. So I'm totally going to re-listen to this episode myself, because she gives so many great tips and tricks and ideas for Christmas time. So today I am interviewing the founder of Advent Prep Club. We're going to be talking about prepping for Christmas, trying to figure out what are the things during the month of December leading up to Christmas. What are the things that make sense for our family, the things that we want to invest time in? How can we look at maybe the Christmas season in a different way? I know a lot of us get this excitement and build up to Christmas, and then Christmas ends up being a lot of work on us. It can be very tiring. There's so many things that we want to fit in and do for Christmas, and it can feel overwhelming then, and it feels hard. And then maybe December doesn't even end up being your favorite season because it's so busy and it's so packed. So that's what we're talking about today, is how can we have a more peaceful or more joyful, a smoother Advent season leading up to Christmas, focusing on the birth of Christ and building really good memories with our kids, but do it in a sustainable way. And she's got some absolutely fantastic tips. She is going to share also her Advent Prep Club, which, by the way, is the coolest thing ever. And we're going to get into all of that. So I think it's really important. I mean, you could be listening to this in December and still absolutely apply these tips and tricks. But I think the earlier in the year that you listen to this, the better, because we can take the time now in the beginning of November to be planning and to be prepping and to make it so that we have a much smoother December and Christmas season, no matter what season you're in, whether you're in a season feeling like I could take on a few more things this year, or you're in a very overwhelmed season where you need to cut back, make it minimal. We're going to talk about that too. Okay, I get so excited that now I'm just talking about the things that we talked about on the interview. So I'm going to stop. We're going to dive in, but I do have two quick announcements for you. The first is that, speaking of Christmas, we have got our Christmas shop opening coming in November. So it's going to be about probably the third week of November. I will have exact dates over to you guys very soon. But we are going to be doing our big Christmas shop opening. My cookbooks will be in stock. Jason Sterling spectacles. We have a new winter dress. And also like 3 new surprise products that you guys know nothing about that could work for Christmas presents. It's going to be good. And my third cookbook, volume number 3, Holidays and Hospitality, is going to be coming out in this shop launch as well. I have a lot of work to do in the next week to finalize all the details on that, but it will be coming. So stay tuned for that. I will have announcements for you. It's going to be big. Going to be exciting. Announcement number 2 is that starting Monday, November 6th, we are kicking off our Build Your Natural Medicine Cabinet boot camp. We're going to spend 5 days. You can join us at any time, because if you join after November 6th, you'll just get immediate access to all the stuff. So there's no wrong time to join us. You get lifetime access to all the material. So even if you can't dive into it right now, wait till January when you have more time and dive into it. It will be the only time probably this winter that we teach it. I might teach it again in January, but if you purchase now, you'll just get access to everything. So it comes with 5 days of teaching where we dive into everything, like how to make natural remedies, how do you make salves, intro to herbs, intro to essential oils. We're going to really cover everything. So if you're a newbie beginner, you're going to be able to jump right in. If you're more advanced, then you're just going to get some really great reminders. And then the real amazing part is that with your workbook, you get over 50 recipes. So how to make homemade cough syrup, how to make a DIY like vapor rub that's actually like good healthy ingredients, how to make sore throat spray, and like 47 others. So you can head on over, go to findingjoyshop.com, findingjoyshop.com. You can click over there and you're going to be able to find, you'll see all the recipes. You'll be able to see everything there. And come join us, because it's going to be an incredible boot camp. If you really want to change this sickness season, there's been a lot of sickness going around. If you want to have better ingredients, healthier products, and I think a lot of times when we think of natural remedies, we kind of think, oh, like they're the baby products, and you go to like CVS to get like the real medicine. But herbs, essential oils, natural remedies can actually be so incredibly effective. You guys, there are hospitals that are starting to implement herbs and essential oils for patients who need really, really strong antibiotics because the synthetic, whatever factory made antibiotics are not working against these bacteria and whatever they're dealing with. And they're bringing in herbs and essential oils that are kicking their booties with these infections because they actually can be really powerful. They can be amazing. So building a natural medicine boot camp, building a natural medicine cabinet is not this like weak little thing. It actually can be incredible for your family. And I get carried away and so excited about it. So come join us. We'll talk about all of that and more. So I'll stop. Go to findingjoyshop.com. Okay, that is it for the announcements. We're going to dive in now for this awesome, amazing interview. Let's go. Hey, ladies, I am so excited for our interview today. We're going to be chatting about Christmas and how we can plan ahead, how we can just be intentional with our time to plan for a more peaceful and joyful season. I have Mindy here today, which we're going to be chatting about all of that. So Mindy, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. I am so thrilled to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right. So Mindy, you run something called Advent Prep Club, which we're going to get all into. I'm going to chat all the Christmas resources, which as you guys are listening to this, you might be thinking, Christmas, I'm not there yet. But the thing is, if we plan ahead, if we can be intentional with it, we can have a much more joyful, peaceful season, which is why we're talking about it right now. So first, Mindy, before we get into this, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, and why you're so passionate about this whole topic of Christmas and Advent season.
Absolutely. So my name is Mindy Reeves. I am married to my husband, Josh. We've been married for 18 years. We are high school sweethearts, and we are raising 3 girls, ages almost 7 to almost 13. So we've got a 1st grader, a 5th grader, and a 7th grader. I am in the middle years of parenting, which I absolutely adore. This is a really sweet season for our family. I wish we could just push pause where we're at because everyone is, independent, yet they still want to be with us. And they're not too cool for us yet. My 7th grader is almost there. But I am super busy these days, obviously, with the girls. I spend a lot of time in my car. I am a professional Uber driver, but I am blessed to be able to stay home full time and manage the chaos here at home. And I do run 2 businesses, both part-time. So I kind of end up working a little bit closer to full time, but in my own time with Advent Prep Club that we'll talk about it a little bit more. And then I have a online nutrition and fitness business that I also run to help moms just learn how to fuel their bodies the right way so they can have the energy to keep up with their kids and allow them to do what God's, created them to do. But I definitely have a passion for Christmas, all things Christmas, and making it a special, intentional, and Christ-filled season for our family and for other families. So I'm excited to talk about that today.
Yeah, I love your heart behind that. And like we talked about, we're talking about this now before it's December 20th. And we're like, oh, what are we doing for Christmas? And what I hear from women a lot is how hard the Christmas season is, that December is really tough. November is busy. There's just so many activities. And we turn around and it's December 8th or 10th. And we're like, what are we doing? And then we just feel out of control. We feel like it's just chaos and we're managing just utter chaos. And look, December is going to be busy no matter how you slice it. It's going to be a busy month. But I love, and I am personally very passionate about getting things planned ahead, being smart so that we can have rest, but we can also do the activities or the things that we want to do. And we don't turn around and it's January 1st again. And we feel like, where did Christmas go? We didn't do anything. And so I am very passionate about that, which clearly you are too. So yes, I love that. So there are, as we look at our family calendar, as we look at our families, there's a lot of ways that we can create family memories and experiences together throughout the year. So why for you is Advent season so important and so special?
Absolutely. Well, I'll kind of back it up a little bit. When I was a new mom and Lucy, my firstborn, was born, I was in a MOPS group, and there was a speaker one day in October that came to talk to us about preparing for the holidays, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't even think about Christmas right now. I'm just trying to keep, my child fed and alive."
Yes.
But it sparked something in me because my mom and dad always did a really great job of making all of the holidays very intentional in our home, especially Christmas time. Like that is just some of my fondest memories as a child, was what our home felt like and smelt like and all the things at Christmas. And so this lady was talking about how to make all the holidays intentional. But when she got to Christmas time, it just there was just like a seed planted in my heart. And she talked about how for her family, she kind of spreads out the Christmas season by doing Advent and counting down to Christmas, and kind of like, the traditional chocolate Advent calendar you might remember as a child, where you get to have a little piece every day. She would do a small activity with her kiddos, like something super simple each day to kind of help prepare their hearts and homes for Christmas Day and the arrival of Christ. And I just loved that. So I remember coming home that day, I put it in my back pocket. I knew it wasn't our season quite yet because I just had a newborn, but I told my husband about it. I was like, I just love this idea. I want to do this for our family. And he was like, it sounds great. So fast forward, really the next Christmas, or maybe it was 2 Christmases later, sorry, because I had my second born at the time. Lucy was 2 and June was 6 months. I was like, you know what? We are home all the time. I love Christmas. I'm ready to start this tradition now, kind of knowing it would probably be more for Josh and I than the girls since they were so little. But I just kind of made my plan in November of the 25 things that we were going to do during the month of December each day. And y'all, they were simple because I had littles and I had to keep it, for their level. So day one, we got out the Fisher-Price nativity scene with Lucy, and we talked about all the animals and all the characters that were there when the night Jesus was born, and practiced our animal sounds. So I'm talking simple things that we would probably do anyway. If we were having a rough day, I'd put the girls in a bath and let Lucy have a red popsicle. And we talk about the colors of Christmas and what they mean. So truly simple things, but that were planting seeds in Lucy's heart of what Christmas was all about and allowing us to have some really sweet time together. We also would do things that, were in our normal Christmas rhythms as well, like going to see Santa Claus, or, my mom always does gingerbread houses with the grandkids. So, we built our normal rhythms into our Advent activity calendar as well. So it wasn't like I was forcing things so that's kind of how it started. And that first year I had zero expectations. I was like, we're just going to start this and see what happens. And by the time this December 25th rolled around, Josh and I both were like, that was so fun. We cannot wait to do it again. And really it was Josh that was like, I hope we continue with this tradition. And so that's kind of where it started. And that was 12 years ago. So this will be our 12th year doing our Advent activity calendar. And just through the years, it kind of organically grew. I was posting on my social media of what we were doing, and people were like, my friends were like, oh my gosh, Mindy, that's so fun, so cute. I want to do that next year. And so I would help them kind of implement, just the process that I did and how, my ideas, and it just kept growing and growing. My friends started doing it with us, and their friends started doing it with us. So it's been a really, really sweet tradition for our family.
That's so cool. So I'm assuming then, like you're saying, the activities have grown with the ages as your kids have gotten older. So what's it going to look like? Give us a little taste of what some of this will look like for you guys for this year with your, we've got middles. We're right in that season too. So what are the activities you're doing? Give us a little taste of that.
I'm actually starting to kind of plan my activities now. And that is kind of the beautiful thing about planning in advance. I get everything planned and purchased or gathered, everything ready to roll in November. So come December 1st, all I have to do is execute these things and enjoy my family and have intentional time with them at Christmas time each day. And it really is so sweet that it can like create, whether it's something that takes 10 minutes or it's something that like going to see a Christmas play or something that we might be on a Saturday out as a family for 3 to 4 hours. So it creates intentional time for us to be together, to prepare our hearts, and to have like these, just organic conversations about how we can weave Christ from, infancy to prophecy to fulfillment, basically, on preparing our hearts for Christmas. So our activities really have evolved throughout the years. When the girls were little, things were super simple. Most of them were at home, took no time at all. And as they've gotten older and we've been able to, get out of the house a little bit more, our activities, I still have that mindset of simplicity, because you're executing this in the busiest time of year. And so if you have all these grand ideas, you're going to lose steam and not be able to do them all. And you're going to have days that your kids are just, totally in a foul mood, or you're going to have sick kids and you're going to have to pivot and, either say it's not happening today or do something super simple, like sit down and watch a Christmas movie together. So as the girls have gotten older, I usually have like 3 to 5 bigger activities that we do together as a family, whether that's, the gingerbread houses with my mom, going to see Santa and ice skating, because there's an ice skating rink right there, going to some kind of play or concert. Like this year, my girls love Phil Wickham. And so we're going to surprise them with Phil Wickham tickets. And that will be like one of our big things that we're doing. Yeah. But since we're, in the middle years and our schedule is so busy, our evenings are always filled with, after school practices and games and meetings and all the things, I'm really going to have to simplify this year as well and really keep things simple so they're sustainable for our family in the season of life that we're in right now. So some things that, we have those activities that my girls ask for every year. They're like, we have to do this. It's just part of our tradition. And then I'll weave in some new things, like something kind of silly. Like my girls are into fake nails. Like they love the, Olive and June, like press-on nails. But I don't know how to do that. Like that's not my thing. I don't wear fake nails, but my neighbor, who is a boy mom, loves doing that kind of stuff. And so we're going to have a nail day with Miss Rachel, and she's going to come over and help the girls do legit press on nails. And we'll do, Christmas colors and fun things like that. We always have our neighbors over for a s'mores night. So that's just something that is just always built into our calendar because it's a tradition that we do. My mom and mother-in-law always take the girls to do a fun Christmas outing as part of our Advent activity calendar. So that's always on the calendar. And, that's just a blessing to Josh and I too, because we get an afternoon or a night off to, get some Christmas shopping done or wrapping or go on a date night, whatever. So the activities have definitely evolved. I pick and choose things that will fit into our season. I always do things that I know the girls are going to want to do. And then I always add in a few new things, but simple. Like last year we did something that I was like, okay, this could be a complete bomb, but my girls love the movie Elf. We all do. Yes. And so one night at dinner, I popped open a can of Coke for everyone at the dinner table. And I was like, we're going to have a belch like buddy contest. Like whoever can belch the loudest win. And guess who won? Me. So yeah, but it was so funny. Literally it fit into our normal dinner rhythm, and the girls thought it was hysterical. They were like, I cannot believe we're doing this right now. Like we get to belch at the dinner table. Yes. So fun. But again, that's something that you can pivot with and do that last minute, when you're having a crazy day, but you're all sitting down for dinner, you can have a belch like buddy contest. Yeah.
Well, I love that. And I was thinking too, as you're talking about press on nails, we're a boy household. So we have 6 boys and we do have 1 girl. So her and I do the girly things together, but we've got a lot of boy activity and energy going on in the South.
Totally.
And I love this idea with kind of designing your own Advent season, is that you really can tailor it to your family and to your ages. You're not just opening up a box of something that you're like, this doesn't even fit our family. Right. And that some years are busier than others. Mm-hmm. And so I love that you can really design that And I think the place that a lot of us get stuck then is with ideas and thinking, okay, this is such a great plan. I want to do it simple. I want to just have the calendar, but figuring out what that is going to look like is hard. So why don't you tell us about your Advent Prep Club and what you guys do there, because it's very fun.
Absolutely. So in 2019, the Lord just kind of put a stirring on my heart that it was kind of time to make this into something a little bit more than me, sharing my ideas to my friends. And, I just knew the Lord was like, okay, this has been a blessing to your family. Like, let's spread it to other families. And so my husband happens to be a web developer. And so in the 2020, we worked together using his gifts and talents of building a phenomenal website and putting all of my ideas and processes in one place, allowing moms to come on and really simplify and streamline the planning process. And that is how Advent Prep Club was born. So Advent Prep Club is an online planning portal that moms can become a member for. It's a yearly membership fee. And with the site, you can come on and filter. I have 300 plus activity ideas on the planning portal. You can look through all of them if you want to check out all of them, or you can use filters, which is the best way to do it, and filter it by your kids' ages and the type of activities that you might be looking for. So if you're, have older kids and you're really wanting to focus more on service, you can filter it by service activities. If you have little kids and you've got to keep it super, super simple, you can have a filter that's quick and easy, that require little to no supplies. So you can bust them out last minute, or all at home activities. There's out and about activity ideas. If you want to go, do something fun, like a Christmas movie or play or carriage ride or whatever that might look like. So there's a lot of different ways that you can filter the activities to make them work for your season, because that is key, is making sure that you're picking things that will make your kids' hearts flutter. You don't want to pick it for you. You want to pick it for where your season is. Yeah. And so that's one of my biggest pieces of advice to new moms that are trying this out. Keep it simple and pick activities that are appropriate for your age. You can always save things for later, because when you try to force something that's really designed for older kids on little kids, it just becomes frustrating for everyone involved when they can't do what you're wanting them to do. So I tell moms, when you go through the site and you kind of pick and choose your activities, pick 30 to 35, knowing you're not going to do all of them, but you've got some things in your back pocket, quick and easy activities, at home activities, that if you're having a total junk day and you need to pivot, you've already got some things on your list that you can pivot to. But once you select your activities, it creates kind of your My Activity list that has all of your activities selected that you've, are listed that you've selected. It will create some different printables for you. It'll do all of your activities that you can print out and put on your Advent activity calendar. You can edit any of the activities. So for example, if you're having, Christmas Eve at Gigi and Pops's, that's what we call our grandparents, you can edit it to say, Christmas Eve at however you call your grandparents. You can create your own activities. It will spit out a complete supply list that is Advent gold, because it will list every activity you selected and what you'll need to either shop for or gather around the house to be able to execute those activities. So I have a bin, my Advent bin. Once I pick all my activities, that I will start putting things in there. So I have everything in one spot. So each day in December, if it's press on nails day, I keep going back to that. I've already bought the nails and they're in my bucket. So when Miss Rachel comes over, I can just pull the nails out and we are ready to make that happen. It has shopping links. So if you're doing a new Christmas book, it has a link of all my favorite books. We have Pinterest boards for ideas. So if you pick make Christmas ornaments, you can click on the Pinterest board and it has just a ton of different ornament ideas that you can select that would work best for your kiddos, and then add those, supplies to your supply list. So throughout November, you can just slowly start checking off, okay, to make sure that I have all of these supplies that I will need for December. And then there's also an interactive calendar where you can click on the calendar link and it'll have all of your activities listed on the side, and you can drag and drop your daily activities into the calendar. You can move them around. I kind of tell moms, I'm like, make a plan, like, for the things that are happening on a day and a time. Like if you're going to your town's Christmas parade and that's happening on December 3rd at 6 p.m. Obviously, put that on December 3rd. So I kind of like put all my things that have a set day and time in, and then I'm a little fluid with my other things because it just depends on the day, what our schedule's like, what our attitudes are like. And so I kind of like am more run by the seat of my pants with that. But some moms like to have it, set every day. And I totally understand that. But for me, it's just one thing that I've kind of learned that works for our schedule throughout the years is just to keep our schedule flexible. And so you'll have that. And then also on the planning site is all of just like my processes for how we do things and what I've learned throughout the years that works and that doesn't work. There's a part on Christmas devotionals that you can purchase that are great, for different ages, how you can, naturally, organically weave, Jesus into your conversations, even if you're doing something that day that doesn't really, gingerbread houses, for example, or, whatever it might be, how you can organically weave conversations about talking about like how sweet Jesus is. Let's taste and see how he is good. Like, let's share how we've seen Jesus's goodness this week, so there's ways that you can really organically weave him in. So there's always those conversations going on in the month of December.
I love that. So how you do it is like, you'll come up with your 30, 35 ideas. And then are you just looking like each week you're like, okay, December 1st through 7th is coming up. And you're kind of just figuring out, on the fly when you're going to kind of fit things in, but you've already got your supply bucket.
Yeah.
So you can do that easily, right then? Because you could just be like, oh, okay, today we're going to do this activity because this afternoon works really well.
Exactly. And like one of our traditions, December 1st is always new Christmas jammies. So, and my girls know that. So like when they come home from school, I have their Christmas jammies wrapped, and like, that's what our thing is. A couple of years ago, I bought them Christmas sheets like on sale. Really
fun.
Here. And so every December 1st, I make their beds with their Christmas sheets. Like those are things that that's just our rhythm and what we do. And we've learned that throughout the years. But another thing I just kind of wanted to mention, like even to the extent of wrapping the Christmas PJs. Do you have to wrap your Christmas PJs? No, but I'm doing those things in November when I'm not quite as busy, where I can actually make those things happen. So once I purchase the PJs, I go ahead and wrap them and I put them in my Advent box, and it's like done. All I have to do on December 1st is pull them out and set them out for when they get home. Yeah. There's also I wanted to kind of briefly touch on this on budgets. There is a budget on the website, so you can kind of create your own custom budget for what you want to do or what you want to spend. And y'all, an Advent activity calendar can be done with hardly anything spent, and it can be very elaborate. Like for example, when I bought the Phil Wickham tickets for family of 5. That was $250, but that's like our one big thing that we're doing that year. And Josh and I, like once we really started, continuing in this, and it was getting a little bit more expensive as our kids were growing. And as we had more kids, like buying one pair of PJs is a lot less expensive than buying 7 or however many you have to buy.
Yes.
But we have budgeted this into our Christmas budget. And it really is our Christmas gift to our girls. So on Christmas morning, they don't receive presents from Josh and I because we've given them, 25 days of, experiences or gifts, like the Christmas PJs or a new book or going to the Phil Wickham concert. Like it does add up. And so that's just kind of been built into our Christmas budget. And it's Josh and I's personal gift to our girls. And they wouldn't trade that for the world. Like they would much rather have 25 days of fun activities and experiences versus us giving them 5 presents on Christmas Day or something.
Yeah.
But just to encourage those moms that are like, oh my gosh, I'm on a tight budget. Great. You can totally do this on a tight budget. And the website has a ton of ideas that are just at home, simple things that you can execute for little to no money at all.
I love that. And I think a big piece of that is getting planned ahead. So we bake a lot during December. We bake a lot anyway in our household, but we always have all these fun projects we want to do. But it's the getting organized of it. It's making sure that you have like the unusual ingredients on hand, that you're ready to go. And I feel like that is a really big piece is the pre-planning, making sure that you've got that ahead. So one thing I've always talked about doing every year, I still have not done it, is this cute idea of picking 25 Christmas books, wrapping them up, and then having them ready to go, December 1st, you guys wrap one and you read it. Well, I don't have 25 Christmas books and I've never gotten organized enough, and I don't have the budget to just go to Amazon and buy 25 new ones. So it's always been in my brain that throughout the year, I'm going to start gathering these and finding them. And then it's, December 2nd and I go, oh, I didn't do that again. So I just love this idea of putting thought into it, putting preparation and working on it in maybe a less crazy season before that overwhelm hits. And you're like, okay, never mind. I don't have time for it.
And so I always have my Advent box available for things like that. Like if I see something on sale at the store or a book or whatnot, like I can grab that and put it away so I know where it is. But I love the Christmas book idea. I think that's so great. I know a lot of people that do that. But another thing that you could do, Jamie, is just head to your library late November and grab all those books, and you can have them for 2 weeks. And wrap them. And then you just have to return them, So, but it's totally fun. And then one other thing I thought about that, is you can't do it all. You have to find your thing and run with your thing. So this is our thing. I do not do Elf on the Shelf. I don't do, what are some other things? The Jessie tree, whatever it is, this is our thing. So I don't feel overwhelmed. I go all in here. And, because when you're doing just all the things, it becomes way overwhelming and too much for your kids too. They don't need everything, but find what works for your family and run well there.
Yeah, I love that encouragement. And I do think too, we tend to sometimes discount the things that we do well because we're just seeing all the other things. And so we do bake a lot, and I don't think about how much we've worked that into our schedule, but it has taken many years of getting there. And I have friends who are like, how do you do that? How are you baking so much? And I go, oh yeah, we're pretty good at that now, where we didn't used to be, but then I'm looking at all the other things that I'm not doing. And so I love that encouragement that we got to figure out what is it that it's our family thing. And, sometimes there's times to add in a few things here or there. And there's other times to say, this is what we're doing this year. And it's good. It's great.
And it will be enough for your kids. Whatever you do, whether it's super small or it's grand, it is enough for your kids. And it doesn't have to be done every single day. I talk about this on the planning site, make it work for your season. If you are a busy, overextended full-time working mom, do it on the weekends or, do it every other day, or just do it the days that work for your schedule. It doesn't have to be every single day. And there are many days that we have to pivot. And, if the girl, even if one of the girls has just had a really rough day and can't get it together, I'm like, you know what, you're going to have to sit out on this today. You can't, this is a privilege and you're not going to be able to participate today. So there is so much flexibility and grace in it. And back to your, I love that baking is your thing, run with that. And that is a gift that the Lord has given you. And there's so many ways that, because baking is easy for you, that you could make it fun for your boys and your girl, make the cookies and deliver them to neighbors or deliver them to the fire station to get some service things, or have a bake sale, and whatever money y'all get, donate it to Angel Tree or something, or take it to your teachers for a sweet little Christmas gift to the teachers, or have a baking contest with your kids. Give them some ingredients and they have to come up with the recipe and whatnot and see who can bake the best cookies, So I love that. And there's so many ways that you can run with your gift of baking. And on the site, like I said, you can add all of your special ingredients in there on your shopping list, and you can check them off. So once you're, at Walmart or whatever, and you're slowly grabbing them throughout the month of November, done. So you have them all in your pantry come December.
Yes. I mean, I tell you what, talking to you today, I'm like, I need to get this all done now. Like, forget November. Like, I'm getting this ready.
It really is fun, you guys. Like, it brings me so much joy to plan for this because it just makes me so excited. And really, Advent Prep Club, it simplifies it so much. Like, if just thinking about this completely overwhelms you, like, that is why you need Advent Prep Club. If you want to make this happen for your family, it streamlines it. It takes the thought out of it. Everything is done for you. All you have to do is pick your activities, which is a total blast. Like, grab a cup of coffee, put some Christmas music on, and have a total blast running through all the activities. It's so much fun. And so once you have your activities picked, it's just gathering and shopping for your supplies, and then it's done. You're ready to go. It's so fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you, what has been a favorite activity over the years for your family? Or what's one that, well, like you said, I love your Christmas pajamas on December 1st.
Yes, that is.
Do you have like a standout that you think of?
You know, it's funny, Jamie. It's usually the simplest things that bring the most joy and create the most memorable moments. Like, probably the top one that my girls will say is the last day of school, we will do a family sleepover in the living room. We will pop popcorn, have M&Ms, watch a Christmas movie, and we'll all fall asleep in the living room to the light of the Christmas tree. And that just fills their cup. They love that activity. So that's definitely one. Let's see, a couple of years ago, we did a candy, like, instead of going to like fork someone's yard, we forked some of our good friends with like candy canes.
Oh, fun.
My girls love that. We put on camo, we did the eye black, and we went at night and like put candy canes all in our friends' yards and like ding dong ditched them. And like, they thought that was so fun. So that's been on our Advent activity calendar the past 3 years because
that's fun.
They love it so much. So yeah, every year, like I said, there's things that we always do, like the slumber party in the living room, PJs, going to see Santa. Like, I have, just our Santa pictures throughout the years, doing gingerbread houses with my mom. When they were little, and I probably still need to do this for my 7-year-old, she gets, she's the last. So but anyway, when my other two were little, I always had a special person come over and read a bedtime story for them. So like, whether that was their teacher or their Sunday school teacher, like, or a grandparent, an aunt, a cousin, whatever, would surprise them, ring the doorbell, bring a Christmas book, and we'd have hot cocoa, and they would do their bedtime story that night. And they always loved that. And whenever we like bring people into our Advent activity calendar, my girls love it, and it blesses other people because they're able to, do some fun Christmas activities that aren't normally on their radar.
That's really fun. Oh, I love all these different ideas. Well, as we wrap up, why don't we talk about, of course, with Christmas, with doing all these fun things, really our point is to be able to point our family back to Christ as our ultimate reason for Advent. And we want to twine that through while we're baking cookies and watching the movies. So do you have any favorite moments or activities that you do with your family that are very Christ-centered, or like you were saying, you're just using a lot of these everyday opportunities and moments to talk about Christ, talk about the reason for the season? What does that look like?
Yeah, as my girls have gotten older, we do a lot more service activities that are other people focused, just to orient our hearts and their hearts towards serving others and being Christ-like. And, Christmas time it's very easy to think about yourself and what you want and all the things. And so we do a lot of service and thinking about others. Like last year in our neighborhood, we did a hot chocolate stand, and we donated all of that money to Angel Tree. Typically we will, I'll chat with the girls' school counselor, and we will adopt a family through the girls' school without the family knowing. And we will do gifts for each family member and deliver it to their porch and leave, like things that just that bring the girls a lot of joy because we're doing something for other people. Yeah. We always, we'll get an angel from church, from the Angel Tree, and shop and wrap the gifts and all the things. So, but what we also do, is we do like some kind of daily Christmas Advent devotional as a family as well. As the girls were little, it was very simple. We love the Jesus Storybook Bible. I still use that with my littlest. It's just, it preaches to my heart all the time too, because it's pointing everything from prophecy to fulfillment to Jesus and why we celebrate the season. So we do a very quick, small daily devotional, but don't let that overwhelm you. Some days it doesn't happen. Some days we'll have to double up and, all the things, but we do it in like a time of day that just works. Like it doesn't have to be like a set time, a set place, because that just doesn't happen with all the kids running around. So at the breakfast table or in the car, we do a lot of our devotionals in the car, especially if, on the way to school or when Josh is driving and we're heading to an evening activity, I'll read our daily devotional, we'll ask our questions, things like that. So even weaving that in a very organic way where it doesn't feel forced, my big girls are getting older and can do like daily devotionals on their own. So this year, that's one of my goals for them, is to find a good devotional for them and their season of life that they can do on their own, just to foster, spending time on their own with the Lord. So there's so many ways that you can weave. And even, if you already do, for example, the Jesse tree, you can weave that into your daily rhythms, and make that your daily Devo point. However, or if you have super littles, like my two nephews are 2 and will be 6 months at Christmas. Like they're so little. I told my sister-in-law, I was like, your daily devotional is the Fisher-Price nativity scene. Yeah. Get that out and play with that every day and talk about everyone that was there when Jesus was born. Like that's your devotional. That's going to plant seeds that will grow as they grow.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I love that encouragement too, because I think we tend to overcomplicate Christmas.
Yes.
Trying to do like a 3-hour long Bible study every day, and we just kill it and it doesn't work. And it, it doesn't have to be that.
Yes, exactly. Give yourself so much grace and don't overcomplicate it, because it's not sustainable. It's not enjoyable for you. Like you want this to be something that's going to fill your cup and bring you a lot of joy during the holidays. And if you do it right and you plan ahead, it will. It is such a just life-giving experience that I think you'll really, really enjoy.
Okay, well, on that perfect note then, that last bit of encouragement, why don't you share with us where we can find Advent Prep Club, or we can find you online for those of us who are ready and excited to dive in?
Sure. So you can find us at adventprepclub.com. You can find us at Advent Prep Club on Instagram and Facebook. So memberships for the 2023 season go live on Friday, October 20th. So that is when your listeners can go on and become a member that day. Once they're a member, they have full access to the planning site through the end of the year. So they'll have access until January 1st of that year. The membership fee is $40. If you're a returning member, you get $10 off each year. So returning members is $30 a year. And then for your listeners, I would love to give a 15% discount. So we can set that up and you can put that in the show notes for the discount code that they can put in for 15% off.
That's perfect. Cool. I just wrote a note to make sure we get that in there. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for that. And just thank you so much for chatting with us today, Mindy, and all of these great encouragements and reminders, and the fact that we can be starting to think about this now as we head into what's going to be a busy season, but we can be very intentional now. So thank you, Mindy. This was very encouraging.
You are so welcome. Thank you for having me, and Merry Christmas.
All right, ladies, thank you so much for joining us for this awesome interview. I have got all of the links. If you're watching here on YouTube, scroll down below. I got all the links for you. If you are watching or if you're listening on the podcast, go to findingjoyinyourhome.com. You can get all of the links that are included in today's show notes, including where you can jump in and check out the Advent Prep Club. We also have, don't forget, our shop opening. Our Christmas shop opening will be coming this month. You can go to findingjoybookstore.com. And we have our Build Your Natural Medicine Cabinet Bootcamp. Go to findingjoyshop.com. You're going to be able to join us. It's going to be amazing. And I will have links down for you below. All right, ladies. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And we'll see you guys back here next week for the next episode.